Perfect.
No sound.
Hi, Tobias.
Hi, Tobias.
Hi to you.
Welcome.
Hi to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Eh?
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I said nice to meet you. Yeah.
I thank you. I'm there.
Nice meeting you.
Here from Florida. Where are you, Tobias?
I'm in Kakamega County, Ligero Sub-County, Makanda Ward.
The moment you cook for longer, then that's what
Can we have everyone on mute until?
I'm going to put it at co-host.
Here, can you indicate any problem? The Pune meeting, 5 minutes also is not sitting. Those people are sitting for all over Tamil. 5 minutes is getting up and going. I cannot understand it.
We are happy.
ஏதோ வருத்தப்பட்டு நீங்க தான் ஆர்டர் பண்ண விட்டுறீங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க. இது எங்க போய் ஆர்டர் பண்ணுவீங்க? சங்கீதா. அப்போதைக்கு இந்தியன் இதுலயே ஆர்டர் பண்ணிடலாம்ல நம்ம. அப்ப அப்படி நீங்க ஒரு தடவை போய் நிக்க முடியலங்க. நீங்க சொல்றீங்க நான் மொத்தமா உட்கார்ந்து ஒரே இடத்துல அப்படி
I put silence in.
Not very effective. So-
Good morning, everybody.
Check.
Let's see.
Done. Just a private message.
I'm going to put it as co-host to.
Oh, nothing now.
Deepa and John, you are co-host right now also. So
I didn't hear what you said, Mariana.
No problem. No connected.
okay.
What did you say, Mariana?
We're co-hosts,
Yeah,
so
Oh, how nice.
just in case, because as a co-host, if you need to mute someone or some noise, we can do it.
and just run the show.
But I didn't take the 2-week course in this and being a host on Zoom.
Hello.
I don't know what happened at the very beginning because Klaus couldn't get in. I sent them.
He was an hour early
Oh, that's
because he didn't remember that Europe went on daylight savings time.
okay.
So he was there early. I sent him the link,
and the
Yeah, I did it, but you know, okay. Sampa,
Yes.
so Mariana, I'm with you in terms of letting people into the waiting room.
I'm doing that.
Oh, okay. That was the one thing I knew what to do, but okay.
But if you want it, I let
It's okay. No, I'll learn from a master. This is okay. This is good. Welcome, Sue.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you.
Welcome, Swaran.
Welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
We'll,
Good to see you, Sue.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Nice to see you again, Soran.
Good morning, everyone.
Good to see you. Welcome.
Good morning, Clark.
Good morning.
Welcome to everybody.
Yes. We are ready. Good morning. You. Good morning too.
Wow, this is really
During soil advocacy team. Wow.
impressive
Gabriel.
convocation.
Truly global.
Yep. So I
Yes,
think we'll due to
absolutely.
that we'll
So love that. I so love that.
And it's remaining 2 minutes. In any time we are.
Sue, were you able to get any of the Boda drivers?
Yes. But
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I asked if you were able to get any of the Boda drivers to join
They're
us.
here.
Oh,
They're
fantastic.
coming.
That's fantastic.
I'm already here, Brazil.
Welcome. How lovely.
Yes, this kind of difference of time, it happens to me that yesterday someone is waiting, and in the email I received that someone is waiting on the and he said today is 29, and it was because it switched the day, and so was earlier in the morning. Because on Sunday they change in Europe and in the States, right?
Can you observe this?
No, but I can send him the, wait,
Send me the.
No?
So there's some people missing, but we are already 26. And
I think, should we give everyone just maybe 2 more minutes? Because I
Yeah.
think that there's going to be a lot
yeah,
that are coming in so that we are able to start off smoothly.
yeah, that was I was about to say that in 3 minutes, 10:05 we start. John,
Yeah,
what I would like to ask you if if you need to close the microphone of someone because there's any noise, just to do it with me. Thanks. Okay. Hi, John.
yes.
Miss Krishna.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Good to see everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah.
Morning, evening,
good.
whatever good day.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
It is really, we are all around the world today, so.
We got the entire day covered, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mariana, whenever you want to get started, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think
We can start.
okay. Let me just very warmly welcome everybody. My name is Deepa Prahalad, and we're really excited to have all of you here today for this first edition of the Prahalad Awards for Social Innovation. Let me begin by extending my congratulations to all the winners, and really my thanks to everyone at the Kauffman Center for helping create this award so that we can recognize really outstanding work from around the world in social innovation. Let me briefly thank also, I think a few of our jurors are here. We couldn't have done this without a stellar group of jurors who really helped us think through what the criteria should be and gave a lot of their time and effort. So I'll share more about them a little bit later. But let me spend just letting you know a little bit more about the Kauffman Center that has started this award by introducing my colleague Mariano Bernardes, who is the CEO of the Kauffman Center and can tell us a little bit more about the organization and its work.
Good morning, everybody. This morning.
Yes.
The Kauffman Center was created in a couple of years ago as part of the continuing process of recognizing outstanding social impact and outstanding social innovation. It's a think tank that covers a global international audience belonging to the International Society for Societal Performance. We seek for recognized positive value creation through social means. And Professor Kauffman was a pioneer in the idea of social impact and mega thinking and planning. Mega being looking at a vision that prioritizes social impact and value added, doing well by doing good, not the other way around. And focus on three, the Kauffman Center focuses on three levels of results. Social impact, we call mega, sustainability, we call it macro, and value-adding products and services at the level micro. And you can see some of the past awardees. These include, for example, organizations such as Never Again Rwanda, an organization dedicated to reconcile.
I think we're having a little bit of trouble with the sound. Can I ask everybody to please mute their video unless they are speaking or presenting?
Okay. It's okay now?
Let me make sure that
Perfect.
everybody is muted.
Okay. I was saying that among the past awardees for the Kauffman Awards, we have different organizations such as Never Again Rwanda, dedicated to reconciliation of among the victims and perpetrators of the genocide in the Civil War. We have the mega region, Arizona, Sonora, that work across the border in spite of all the political differences, developing thousands of jobs and trade. Fundación Pescar in Argentina that is enabling people to get jobs. The Woodson Center that works with the African American community and others. So this year we were very pleased to introduce the Prahalad Awards, focusing on social innovation, the kind of innovation that produces and is based on social impact. And these are the first to be here, and I'm proud to introduce now the next speaker to explain more in detail what the Prahalad Awards meant.
Thank you, Mariano. The CK Prahalad Awards are meant to invite, include, consider, and acknowledge leading organizations in the field of social innovation, regardless of industry. In this, our first year, or first edition of the awards, we were pleased to have an outstanding set of organizations that submitted applications for our consideration. Each applicant was a worthy candidate in the eyes of the jurors. Our awards were organized into three categories: products and services, social networks, and bottom of the pyramid based on some of CK Prahalad's most influential and pioneering work. Deepa?
Yes, thank you and welcome all of you. It's very exciting to be here with you. And I would like to just begin by sharing a few words about my father and how he thought about social innovation. I think fundamentally, he was a person who believed in opportunity for everyone. And he really taught us that, even if life isn't always fair, there's a tremendous amount that organizations and individuals can do to make it more so. So while a lot of his work was rooted in this deep expertise and strategy, which he put into practice in many different organizations, he really turned his eye to looking at the disenfranchised, also understanding that while organizations can make many things possible, they don't happen automatically. They need to be designed. And that requires fundamental management innovation, a shift in mindsets, and a willingness to really practice and see what works in the field. And in that spirit, his famous work, A Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, kind of was one of the driving forces in starting this debate that we're very grateful is now global and really helped focusing the leadership of across industries on being more equitable and inclusive. And of course, the work of many, many organizations and entrepreneurs such as yourselves are carried on in that spirit. So he really began with this idea that the fundamental condition of innovation is that aspirations must be much greater than resources. And there's no place where that's more widely on display than in the social context in many cases, because the challenges are multifaceted and resources can't always be directed because there isn't one obvious solution. So this willingness to wrestle with complexity is, I think, something that really defines social entrepreneurs. So one of his most famous quotes was this idea that if we stop thinking of the poor as victims as a burden and start recognizing them as resilient and creative partners and customers, a whole new world of opportunity will open up. But I think let me just play a very short clip to get us started with some words from him while he was still alive.
The starting point for large companies has been poor people are not my responsibility. It's the responsibility of the government and NGOs and aid, both international and domestic. Then they said, we cannot totally disengage. We have to do something. It's called CSR. Give money to some NGO, let them do some good work. We get some credit for it, but I don't want to go near it. Then you go to the third phase where they say, maybe there is a market opportunity here. I can experiment at the margin, but keep it separate. And then moving on to innovate and transfer that knowledge across the world.
And I think that really summarizes where we are today. We have this very complex reality that we are all grappling with, where we know that organizations are capable of wealth creation. We also at the same time see increasing inequality, social unrest, and it's not clear what the obvious answers are. And therefore, I think the need and importance of social innovation is higher now than perhaps any other time. And as a set of jurors, we really struggled with how do we think about categories where we can begin to recognize and untangle this complexity. And we looked for products and services, business models that really make a positive social difference as well as produce actual results and engage the community. And Mariana has been absolutely tireless in all of her work and helping make this possible and shepherding all the applicants and jurors through a very complex process. And I would like to just take a moment and allow her to help us recognize the really outstanding group of jurors that we had with us throughout this process.
Thank you, Deepa. I think that we were a team and we arrived to this day And I'm so grateful because we work together. So I'm so happy to be here with all of you, and in order to launch the awards and think through the emerging field of social innovation. We were fortunate to have an amazing group of jurors with us from all over the world. There are some of them right here. So in behalf of all of them, of all the team of Prahalad Awards, thank you very, very much. Not only for being with us, but for your hard work, thoughtful comments, helping us to think on the process and making time in your busy schedules. Our jurors represent academia and industry and are a very global work, as you can see, from all over the world. So more importantly, all of them are dedicated to the cause of social innovation. And let's go to the ceremony itself. In the products and services category, there were 2 winners. The first winner is BankU, a virtual company and creator of a software as a service non-crypto blockchain supply chain sustainability platform. Accepting for BankU is Mr. Ashish Gatnis, co-founder and CEO. I think that he's not here, but he sent it something to us. So Deepa.
Yes, I think one of the really interesting things from the earliest stage is that recognition that actually making a social impact really depends on often incorporating high technology and very sophisticated solutions and really challenging that assumption that dumbed down ideas are the ones that scale. And I think that the work that BankU is doing really exemplifies this, as some of these basic building blocks, when they are not given to people equitably, create a lot of these social inequities. And in BankU's case, they really tried to come up with a very interesting concept of dignity through identity. So let me just, I interviewed Mr. Gatnis a few weeks ago, and I think what he had to say was very interesting when I asked him, why do you do what you do?
Oh man, that's a great question. Why do I do what I do? I think it's very simple. It's because, I grew up poor in India, and, I kind of realized that pity only goes so far. And so when I started BankU, the idea was not to have pity, but to have dignity, right? So what I do today is really kind of taglined as dignity through identity, because there's millions of people who live in extreme poverty, but they perform some of the most important functions in our supply chain. There are farmers, there are waste pickers. And so what we do today is use technology so that they can prove their existence in their supply chain, which is the way to restore dignity and their economic resilience. So
I think this is a wonderful example of how seemingly simple things often get overlooked and why explicit attention is required. And that's the field that social innovators and the world that they operate in. So this was an exciting example. And I think, unfortunately, Ashish wasn't able to be here today, but he did send this message to accept the award.
Hi, first of all, thank you for this incredible award. I'm absolutely unworthy of it. I actually accepted on behalf of the millions of smallholder mama farmers and the informal waste pickers who work so hard every day in our global supply chains, but live in extreme poverty. So I'm extremely grateful for this recognition. And as CKG once said, and I'm going to paraphrase it, is that people in poverty who work in our supply chains are not looking for favors. They're looking for dignity and respect. And this award really highlights that fact. Thank you so much. My apologies for not being able to be with you guys, but thank you again. I'm very, very grateful. Take care.
Thank you.
Well, we say thank you, no matter he's not here, Mr. Gatnis, and I'm pleased to present this virtual certificate to your company that we are going to send it right away. So Deepa,
Yes. Yeah, and our next winner in the products and services category is Sinotrack Corporation from China. And they have created a product called Tech-Driven Code. So it's really workplace and performance improvement. And I think this is another interesting finding, is that a lot of economic growth and a lot of innovation has taken place. And therefore, the challenges that social innovators are addressing are also constantly changing. Many things have happened since the book was first written, and the countless experimentation and deep policy change in many parts of the world is that really what we're addressing itself and what we're starting and where different nations are in their journey is different. And they have addressed this idea of workplace productivity and using very interesting ways and looking at the well-being of employees through the development of new tools. And I think the thing that we loved here was that recognition that simply offering and extending existing tools isn't always the result. When we're addressing social innovation, often we find issues that are present to a different degree in many spheres. And so it's exciting to see. I'm going to play a small clip from Sinotrack China representative, Mrs. Yi, and here she is.
直接与客户的员工合作，顾问提供方法论方面的专业知识，而客户的员工将提供他们在工作中的诀窍和他们在组织中的经验、数据等等。 一起分析和开发解决方案，与客户建立了有效的连接，共同创造价值。现在已经有越来越多的人和组织意识到技库密码的重要性和好处，从努力工作到聪明工作更被广泛的采用。那业务结果和绩效提升更多呈现的是互补，而不是竞争，经济增长变得更加可持续。 所以，我觉得社会创新是有兼容性的，兼顾了个人、组织和社会；有包容性的、共赢的和可持续性的。
Do you have any tips or ideas to share for our listeners about how to build that social innovation?
Yes, so I would like to have my colleague John as well comment, and he weighed in on this and was kind enough to conduct all the interviews with Sinotrack.
I found it very exciting to work with Frank Fu, who is one of our jurors, in translating the interview and the acceptance speech of Ms. Yi into English, and to hear just how deeply immersed and aligned Sinotrack is with the intent of the Prahalad Awards. Very much, it seemed to show up to her and perhaps to me as well as a delightful surprise at like we're on the same page and moving in the same direction with what Sinotrack is doing. Let me turn it back to you, Deepa.
Yes, unfortunately, there is not proper access to Zoom from China, and Miss Yi sent along this acceptance speech on behalf of her organization, and we'll share the recording with her later.
大家好，我是华商界的易红，是国际绩效学术委员会的委员，也是 CPT 的中文审查官。
I'm so sorry, my fault. Here.
If you could put it.
Yeah, one second. Let me try to.
我是华商界的易红，是国际绩效学术委员会的委员。
Just once. I'm so sorry trying to make it.
今天特别开心，能够荣幸华商基业技库密码这款产品。
It's difficult to understand.
Yes, I'm going to try and make this bigger. I'm so sorry. Can everyone see the screen?
直接
Is that better?
Now
You stop sharing
Oh.
your screen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
学术委员会
let me go back. And the irony is we're discussing a really great tech innovation and here I am. So,
Well, you know, sometimes happens.
okay.
It's like that.
Okay. Here we go. And you know what, let me do this so I don't hold. I will read the, I'm going to put the sound off and I will read her speech because I'm having a little difficulty navigating my screen, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
They use.
Hello, everyone. I am Yi Hong of Sinotrack, and I am a member of the International Performance Institute and the Chinese. I'm really happy and honored that Tech-Driven Code gets the CK Prahalad Social Innovation Prize from the Institute. Sorry. Okay, that is not working. Let me, I will come back to this. I'm so sorry. I don't want to hold everyone back, but I will come back and play this in its entirety with a proper size screen. Just experiencing a little difficulty here. So we'll go on to our next winner, Mariana, and we'll do the presentation of the virtual certificate to Sinotrack. Please go ahead.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Miss G. Sinotrack use
hello?
Yeah. Hello, are you? Yeah. We congratulations, Miss G and Sinotrack. I'm pleased to present this virtual certificate to your company that is shifting from working hard to working smart. So if we are going to the next category, in the social network category, the winner is Green Dreams Tech from Kenya, creator of the iCow Tech platform to support smallholder farmers. Accepting for Green Dreams Tech, iCow is Ms. Sue Kambu, founder and CEO. So, Deepa.
Yes, we are so excited to have iCow as one of our winners. They have also done a very interesting job of addressing issues at the grassroots, of showing how information itself and a holistic approach can actually very concretely impact well-being and be win-win, not just for the poor, but for the entire ecosystem. And let me share a little bit of an interview detailing some of iCow's philosophy and their way of working. And then we'll have, of course, the ability to hear directly from Sue Kambu, who is the founder. So she's really talked about what are some of the components of successful social innovation here in this interview with my colleague, John Lazar.
3 tips or ideas to share with our listeners about how to build a social innovation mindset. What would those be?
I would say, first and foremost, you really need to know the problem that you're trying to solve and spend a good chunk of time trying to figure that out. There are too many people trying to take solutions. They're going around with solutions looking for the problems that they set out to solve. Okay, so it's really, really in-depth knowing that problem and building a discovery pathway to keep rediscovering where that problem is coming in and how to fix the various things. Because in this space of social innovation, and I'll give myself as an example, if we fixed everything for the cow, and we didn't fix the soil, the cows wouldn't have anything to eat. If we fixed everything for the farmer that was around his crops and left out the animals, they would equally have another problem. So we've needed to really reach out and prioritize all those problems and then pinpoint those that are overlying or overlapping or that are critical to the farmer being able to get the bulk of what he needs to do right and then work outwards from that. So it's knowing the problem first. Then I would say innovate rapidly, be ready to really, really innovate rapidly because, you know, and know when to shelve innovations. So, one can actually innovate something to death and keep trying to make something work when all of the evidence around you is saying you're wasting your time. And that for me is actually the success about innovation. If you don't fail, you're not innovating. So the more you're failing, the more you're innovating in that sense. And never take them as failings and take them as learnings. You're not learning if you're not, failing per se. And then finally, really know your team. And when you do go into that innovation space with your team, because we go in and out of innovating almost 2 to 3 times a week, but it won't always be with the same people, because different people have different mindsets and they have different problems that they're trying to solve. So if you're trying to solve something that's really around the tech build, don't bring the guys in from customer care, because they'll start asking irrelevant questions. But if you're trying to innovate around something that's customer care, really have got great input into, bring them into the room. So know when.
3 tips.
No, sorry.
or
I think
ideas.
did not mean to press that again. I think we
That
all.
was so good. Let's hear it again.
Yes, sorry about that. John, go ahead and a few comments from you.
So Sue, it's great to have you here. It's great to be honoring you, Team ICAO, all of the people in the network, and what you are innovating and co-creating. Want to congratulate you for winning the CK Prahalad Award for Social Network. And would you like to share with us what this means to you?
Is Sue here?
Yes.
Sue is here. And
Okay,
so
yes, please go ahead, Sue.
So
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you so much, John. Yes, I would love to share what this means to me. Not just to me, to my team, not just to my team, but to our entire ecosystem, many of whom are in the audience here. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for coming. About 14 years ago, I bought a book. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, something happened and I lost the screen.
We can hear you, Sue.
About 14 years ago, I bought a book. And in that book, I found a seed. Nestled in one chapter was an intriguing story about a simple solution to solve the problem of delivering medical services to remote regions in the mountains as efficiently as possible. The system could be used by all the medics across the country in real time, and it collected data through a central database, ensuring optimization or follow-on for medical responses. It worked on low-end phones. And at that time, I was percolating the idea of solving a gaping problem I could see in Kenya. Over the course of the previous 10 years, I built an organic business. It included farming and teaching farmers to farm organically. And during this time, it became clearly apparent that our Kenyan extension service was lagging behind population growth, and most farmers were simply winging it. And national food security was increasingly at risk. My own experience in winging it on my farm had left me extremely frustrated and thirsty for agricultural knowledge and desperate to share what I learned and learn from others too. And as my business slowly grew, I became deeply passionate about farmer education. The seed from that book opened up a whole new horizon of possibilities based around delivering a service at scale over low-end phones. And I consider this seed as being instrumental in my path and development of ICAO. And the book was called Fortunes at the Bottom of the Pyramid, written by no other than CK Prahalad. I never dreamed that 14 years later, my company and work would be recognized and honored by winning a CK Prahalad Award for social networks. And as such, it's only fitting that I dedicate this award to all those individuals, organizations, companies, and institutions that make up our ICAO ecosystem. And if you don't mind, I'm going to list them. I feel like that's very important. Do I have time?
Yes, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Okay, Team ICAO. This is your award. You're the core of this ecosystem. Beth, Steve, Mike, Hesbon, Zach, Gaurav, and James, I celebrate and thank you. You guys rock, big time. To all the ICAO farmers, this is your award. Thank you for your hard work and contribution to food security, for producing responsibly for your families, your customers, and for the planet. And thank you for trusting ICAO. To all the ICAO soil advocates, this is your award too. VSAP 1, 2, and 3, EXAP 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the women advocates. Thank you for your curiosity in learning more about the details of our dependency on soils and the healthy life within them, and for sharing this knowledge with your families and communities. To the Soil Advocate teachers, thank you, Manjiro and Teresa, for joining our program and passionately delivering your classes. It's your award too. To our support teams, it's your award too. Our administrators, Mantle Corporation, Anne and her team, without you, we would be living in a world of chaos in our offices. To our wellness team, Aggie and Lynette, thank you for nourishing us. And our endless bottles of tea and coffee, it's your award too. And to our partners that give us reach and scale, it's your award. Thank you, Safaricom and Benjamin, for including us in your transformative journey in Kenya and for trusting and supporting the ICAO service. Thank you to Accenture. I see you guys in the audience, Martin, Manuel, Alexander, for backstopping our tech team, for nurturing them and ensuring that as we innovate and we grow in we grow in robustness. As we grow, we leverage cutting edge technologies. To our development partners, this award is yours too. Thank you, Dr. Okeo. I see you. Of the International Livestock Research Institution and the Africa Dairy Genetic Games team in Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. Our partnership is bringing important life-transforming and impactful innovations to the field underpinned by cutting-edge science. Thanks to BioVision for allowing us to distribute your excellent content. It's your win too. Thank you, CABI and the Kenyan Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization for innovating with us to deliver precision support to our farmers. And Anna, all the years we've worked together, the journey ahead, working together, now knitting our organizations together, it's your award. And yours, Claudia, and yours, Esther, from ILRI for the Soil Advocacy Program. To our investors, thank you, Alea. Thank you for believing in ICAO, for your commitment to mentoring and honing our team's leadership skills, and for working with us on our strategy. This is your award too. And to my personal mentor, coach, and friend, John Lazar, thank you for your unwavering support and confidence in ICAO, and for not giving up on my stubbornness to write the ICAO story. It's taken almost a year to get the first words down. I promise that there are more words on the way. The journey's just begun. It's your award too. And of course, I dedicate this award to my biggest fan, to ICAO's biggest fan, my mum. Thank you for your selflessness and for teaching me the values of empathy and care. I'd like to ask forgiveness for anyone in the ICAO ecosystem that I may have left out. I've not done it intentionally. It's your award too. Take it. On behalf of the entire ICAO ecosystem, I'd like to thank the CK Prahalad jury for our award and for assuring you that CK's vision and mission lives on through ICAO. Thank you all the ICAOers in this call. And I'd like to end with one quote, stealing two words from John Lazar. Seeds of opportunity are everywhere. The best ones show us that we're better together. Thank you.
Well, that was just so inspiring, and hearing you, I can't imagine a better example of the power of networks, virtual and personal, in terms of the transformative impact that we can have. So wish you and your team the best. I see there are many people from Team ICAO on the call. Our heartiest congratulations, and very inspiring to hear your story. I'm going to now share screen again so we can present you with your virtual certificate and recognition.
Yes. Thank you, Sue, for all your words that are very inspiring for us. So here I am to present this
5,000 million
to your company. Then we are going to send it. Okay, so
thank you.
That we arrived to the next category. In the bottom of the pyramid category, the winner is Srinivas Sun Services Trust from India. Sorry for the pronunciation. Create a sustainable model of community development. So accepting for SST is Mr. Swaran Singh, Chairman and CEO. That I have the opportunity to know him. Welcome, Mr. Swaran. And Deepa, I would like you to say some words about it.
Yes, I think this is such a powerful story because many of the cases that people, when they talk about social innovators, they tend to focus on startups, and rightfully so. But there's a huge role for responsible stewardship of corporates in building ecosystems and in often leading the change increasingly, not just playing a supporting role. And I think that SST is a really beautiful example of that, where the vision of the business leadership has not been to put this in the side. When my father described these, 4 stages, I think that really SST is an example where you have leaders who have really looked at their social impact as a core part of what they do and have done so for many years, and are able to really deliver impact because of their intimacy with the community that they operate in. And it's very gratifying. We also know the Srinivasan family. I'm not familiar with the trust, but we know members of the family. And so it's very exciting to see more of what they do. I'm going to play a short clip from this interview with Mr. Singh, and then we will do the presentation of the award as well.
All these members belong to those villages. They live in the villages. They walk in the villages, they talk in the villages, they eat in the villages, they sleep in the villages, and they grow in the villages. So this is something which you don't find in many of the, say, multinational companies, or you don't find in the NGOs. Some people will be sitting in Chennai, but the people who have to work, they go every day there to the particular place, but we don't go from there. Yes. These people are so much good rapport with the community. Our people, because they live in the same village, what are the problems they're facing, what are the issues they have, they discuss with them and find a local solution for the problems. Yeah. We believe, madam, in community participation and community contribution. We don't believe in charity. Yeah. Because we don't believe the concept of charity. Until you have some community contribution, the ownership will not come. If we build,
this is really ties in so well with the spirit of many of the work of saying that because there's a need, charity is not something that we should view negatively, but it's not a sustainable solution. And I think that several of our entrepreneurs have addressed this point. And I would just like to add, before I invite John to say his part, is that it's not just us who finds a tremendous value and inspiration in what SST has done. Their work was recently featured in a book called A Silent Revolution, and really details this 20-year journey in very immersive, hands-on approach to making an impact. So John, please go ahead.
So I want to thank Mr. Singh and SST for the extraordinary and ongoing contributions that you have made to communities throughout India, and in the fostering and deepening of the ownership that is so essential in having the kinds of results that you intend for those communities to be sustained. Would love to hear from you directly, please. And take yourself off mute.
Mr. Singh, I believe you're on mute.
It just needs to get himself off.
Yeah. Now it's okay.
I think we can hear you.
So good morning to everyone. So dear ladies and gentlemen, good morning and namaskaram from India. I speak today on behalf of the millions of the women, children, people of India who have given us the opportunity to be a part of their perseverance journey. I accept this award on their behalf and on behalf of the team from Srinivasan Services Trust. SST works tirelessly with a single pointed goal to empower the communities across 2,500 villages in the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and Himachal. We started our journey with 2 villages with a visionary team or a dream of Mr. Venu Srinivasan, who is our managing trustee and chairman of TVS Motor Company and Sundar Claytons. His dream is to help the communities to realize their untapped potential and then transform the landscape of the villages by empowering the women. Over the last 25 years, we have been able to realize this dream, which is the key to the progress of the community of all important development parameters, which have been enshrined in the Sustainable Development Goals of UNDP. SST believes in working on holistic development of the villages. SST model of serving the community was developed over 2 decades of experience. We did not have a formula that we could apply to all because the incredible diversity in our country. In Indian villages, no sustainable progress is possible without the full and keen participation of the community.
What happened? Sorry, I just
Sure,
want to correct the screen share here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think
it's okay now.
Is everyone seeing just Mr. Singh right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just stop the screen share. I'm sorry, Mr. Singh. I wanted to make sure everyone could focus on what you were saying and not be distracted with slides or anything. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Most of the solution they seek lie in them. Our role is to guide them to get there systematically and peacefully. SST works as a conduit between the government and the local communities, enabling the people to access various government schemes and the benefits. Our attempt is to make the people independent. I underline, our attempt is to make the people independent and drivers of change. The idea is to convert individual beneficiaries into community leaders who in turn motivate and guide others to bring about social and economic transformation of the communities. Over the last 25 years, if I feel to say with some sort of positivity, SST has organized 60,000 women into 5,000 self-help groups. Today, many of these women earn a regular income of 2,500 to 8,000 per month. This comes to an annual income generation of more than rupees 100 crores. That 13.1 million US dollars. With humility in our hearts and a sincere prayer to Almighty, we accept this prestigious award. We always believe in SST that SST is for the people, by the people, of the people, which says service to humanity is service to God. Love all, serve all forms the basis of the little that we are able to contribute to the society. Finally, I would like to place on record our gratitude and applause to the jury of CK Prahalad Awards Committee. We have learned a great deal from the wisdom of the team and extremely important concepts like the bottom of the pyramid, which continue to define the strategies of business groups and social sector development around the world. With this, we thank with regards to each and every one. I'm sure that our mission and vision of reaching the community will continue. Our journey will not stop. With this, I once again express my gratitude. Regards. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for those truly inspiring words. I'm going to share screen now so that we can watch you receive your virtual certificate from Mariana.
Yeah.
Mariana, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, and I'm pleased to present this virtual certificate to your company. Then we are going to send it to you. And
Yes.
well, so finally, we are here. We are in the final part of our ceremony, and the final candidate, I want to introduce Belarus Catering, creator of an innovative approach to freely distributing food to needy and underserved families and communities. So speaking for Belarus Catering, I want to John to introduce Maya Rothman-Side to give some words to us.
Thank you, Mariana. So I want to introduce to all of you Maya Rotman-Zaid, the founder and CEO of Belarus Catering. And it gives me special pleasure to do this because, as it turns out, Maya is the daughter of very, very good friends of mine that I've known for close to 50 years. And so to connect with Maya in this way and to support her on her journey and to have her journey be recognized and considered with such a wonderful group of candidates is a special gift to me. Maya, please, would love to hear what you have to share with us.
Sure. So it started out that we just had people who needed food. We are a caterer in Chicagoland area in the United States, and when the pandemic hit, people started asking us for food, and it was something that we were able to source differently than food banks and food pantries. We have different licenses, and what we found, especially in our area, is that the donation food that was out there to give was not culturally relevant to the community and to the people who really needed it at the time, the people who were kind of falling through the cracks and not getting help. And so we started sourcing ingredients that the Hispanic population specifically knew how to cook and knew how to stretch and turn into meals that would last for weeks. And so we started with 50 families in 2020 in April, and we ended at the end of 2020 serving about 35,000 families, just under 1 million meals. So it involved working with all kinds of different organizations, homeless shelters, and senior centers. We were delivering throughout our county and throughout other areas, and then found that there is a large volume of food that is being thrown away only for the purpose that it's too expensive to transport it or donate it, get it out. And so we started what we call rescuing food from these manufacturers and distributors. And in 2021, we're able to rescue and redistribute over 2 million pounds of food to families that were in need. And because we're not a government agency, we don't have as many barriers. There's not as much red tape. And so we were really finding these people that were hidden because of the red tape that they don't fit into. And we're able to feed thousands of family every week. And we've continued this and been able to continue and grow and do this. We are doing this all on whatever company funding I have and whatever donations come in. So every event that we take as a paid event, part of that goes back to giving. And we are still 2 years in and still feeding hundreds of families every week because everybody needs to eat, and it's it's a necessity in life. And to be able to give people food that they actually know how to cook and give them fresh fruit and fresh vegetables and fresh food instead of boxes and cans that don't fit into their diet is something that's really important to us. We have worked with all kinds of small local farms. So we're trying to give back in that way as well to beef up the farm business, especially during the time when restaurants were closed and they weren't able to sell any of that. We were able to buy everything that they had on their farms to be able to sustain the small farmer as well. That's what we do. I feel like we're just helping people with food, but apparently that's a huge deal for the rest of the world. And we love doing it. It's something that's really close to my entire staff does this together. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of this. It's been really inspirational and wants us to keep going, makes us want to keep going and growing.
Oh, it's so inspiring to hear from you, Maya. And I think I would like to just call out the reason why we said, even though Maya's a candidate, we must hear from her, because I think she exemplifies several really important things. One is that there's really no geographical limitation on the value of social innovation. It's important everywhere. The details and nuances may be specific to geography, but the fundamental issues that are being addressed are amazingly similar around the world. And there's also been kind of a longstanding belief that, well, it's for-profit businesses that scale immediately and quickly, and everything else is kind of slow-moving and not very dynamic. And I think this is such clear evidence that that's not the case. COVID forced, organizations of all types to pivot, to rethink about how they were using their resources. And there will be many other cases where this becomes necessary. So this idea of very widespread collaboration, the ability to pivot strategically, are actually maybe even more frequent among those who are working in a social context and trying to deliver social impact than they may even be in the for-profit world. And this ability to really create win-wins. This is, one person who ended up very quickly learning how to partner and deliver scalable, tangible results in very short order. So we're seeing a lot of these types of activities around the world. And this is kind of the spirit that we want to celebrate with this award. And also you get an idea of just the quality of candidates that we attracted this year. And we wanted to call Maya out. So thank you so much. We wish you the very best in continuing your work. And again, understanding the individual experience is something that we've seen echoed throughout all of the candidates' stories, and this is no exception. So Mariana, I want you to share a little bit about, we are already looking forward to next year and what that entails for people who might be interested in sharing about these awards with their networks.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we are already open for the 2022 edition. So it's time to call for candidates that you all the audience think maybe candidates as I don't know if we are going to have the level of we have this year, but I guess that we are going to do it. So get into the site, www.prahaladawards.com, and there you are going to find the application form to send it and my contact if you want to ask questions or whatever you need. So very excited to start our second edition, and welcome everybody. We are open to listen and to have more candidates that can show different kinds of social innovations as we have already listened.
Thank you. And, again, to recap, I think that this really summarizes, and we're so excited that this is just our first year, that we had such a diverse and global group, not in terms of just their geography, but the mission itself, what people were doing and how they were choosing to deliver social innovation with the very high tech to the very hands-on, and often bringing those two together was incredibly encouraging. And we're so proud to have seen these stories, and we'll do our best to share them more widely. We're also working on a publication where we can feature words from the founders and creators of these different initiatives. And I would like to just say that, these were things that we saw echoed over and over again, is really that inclusive, holistic approach, that idea of sustainability, and that deep rooting in empathy, which I think was a starting point, but really where people were able to go with it was so inspiring. And I know the audio isn't the best on this, but I'd like to just end briefly with a video from my father addressing, shortly before he passed away, a group of Acumen fellows on why engaging with those different from us is important. What are the leadership mindsets and capabilities needed to do so?
Do it because it's intellectually the most exciting thing that any young person can aspire to do. I want to give you why it is so exciting. I want to start by saying any discussion of leadership must start with three assumptions. Leadership is always about hope. Leadership is about the future. And the leadership is about change. I cannot imagine a leader who does not inspire hope for all people, because nobody will follow you if you don't have hope. And leadership is the profession of the optimist. And therefore, starting today, we all have to ask the question, not what the world is like, but what the world can be. And that lesson that we share is the most important lesson. So I believe that in order for us to help others, we must not only think out of the box. Actually, I don't like thinking out of the box. I like to create a new box. Thinking out of the box assumes the old box is there somewhere. What I would like to suggest, BOP work is all about disciplined imagination. And you need the disciplines of good economics, good technology, and at the same time, you need imagination. It is that creative combination of discipline and imagination that creates unique, powerful solutions. Think of yourself as people in this. They can look at a swamp and imagine a deep one. We need to look at poverty and imagine a very different world. But it cannot be done without good engineering. A theme park cannot have accidents. You cannot let children die in those rides. It must be built to Six Sigma quality. So our job, as all of you truly represent, is how do we bring the disciplines of good, sound technology, sound business, and at the same time, imagine a theme park, not poverty. Anybody can see poverty, few can see opportunity. And I think that is what we need to worry about.
And so I think that all of our winners and our participants and our jurors approach it with this mindset of deep optimism, deep faith in what is possible, and a sense of caring. And I think the interesting thing that has happened with all of the social innovations we've seen featured is the people who are being brought into the stage are not necessarily only, customers or people with untapped potential. The untapped potential exists at both ends of the spectrum. I think leaders are also stretched to understand and think about what they can deliver very differently. And that's the power of creating models that inspire change. And I would like to just really extend my personal thanks again to all of the jurors, to the Kauffman Center, to the candidates, a word of appreciation to really thank you for the work that you're doing. And I would like to just take a moment to give the jurors, if they would like, any opportunity to share a few words or thoughts with the winners or what their impressions were before we close. Thank you again. And I will share screen so that we can now just.
And I think that we can get everyone an applause to everyone. No matter it's virtual, if we were in presence, we will do this. So,
sure. This is Krishnan here. I want to first congratulate Deepa and the entire Kauffman Center team for putting this together, and the whole process of right from starting evaluating, discussing the idea, evaluating the candidates, and then discussing the structure of the awards. I mean, it's been a humbling and learning opportunity for me, and also nostalgic to some extent, as I posted in my chat. As you hear CK, it is almost like, to me, it is when he's here in Michigan talking to us or something like that. And every time you listen to him, it is just energizing. And now looking at the awards this year, and the first year, maybe I think we made a big mark in terms of the recognition of the organizations, and the efforts here truly reflect what and how CK believed in solutions, unique and innovative solutions for solving societal problems, right? I mean, you address the bottom of the pyramid as a book, a couple of you mentioned, and his point was, solutions for this market, for these problems, need not be, need not be just simple. There is an opportunity for using technology. There is opportunity because these markets are ready to accept anything that we provide, as long as it creates value and solves the problem. And that's exactly what we have seen here in terms of application of, analytics and tech platforms to inclusiveness and co-creation with the participants, with the community. And so it's been really humbling.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Let's unmute.
I'm done. And thanks.
Sorry for that.
Well, it does underscore how global this group really is today. So that's the good.
And we are many people, so sometimes. Thank you, Mrs. Krishna. For me, it was a pleasure to meet you as a juror.
Oh, thanks. It's the same here. Same here.
And if there's anybody else who would like to say anything, otherwise we will thank you again and end the meeting. And we will be in touch. However, you haven't gotten rid of us so easily. We are looking to publish a volume, and we will also be featuring many of your stories throughout the year, through our different networks and platforms. So is there anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely, Deepa. I was just going to suggest that some of these, stories we should actually capture as case studies to be used. From Michigan, we will be very happy to kind of explore that because, those are the case studies that used in schools, business schools or in teaching purposes. It's a great way to disseminate the knowledge and build awareness around these solutions.
Wonderful. Yes. And again, we are available if anybody, even later comes up with any ideas or anything, we are more than happy to discuss. I think that's the whole principle of social innovation. We take input and we try to see how we can expand the impact. So we are always available. You can go to prahaladawords.com or you're free to reach out to any of us on LinkedIn, and we are happy to take suggestions, feedback, and certainly any ideas on outstanding candidates for next year as well. We're very excited to see all of you this year and really look forward to expanding this and having you join and help us evaluate next year's candidates as well.
That's right. Yeah.
It looked as if Gonzalo had something that he wanted to say.
Please. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see the raised hand. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Gonzalo, please.
Oh, no. Well, congratulations to all. For us, it's a very hopeful experience because we require this type of inspiration and aspiration. So we look forward for a lot more evidence and experiences because right now we have to create the future. New things can happen, but the only way that could happen is with our effort, with our commitment. Thanks a lot and congratulations to all.
Thanks, Gonzalo. Back to you, Deepa.
Thank you.
We can give people back 15 minutes.
Yes, so wonderful to see all of you and really excited to stay in touch as well. Have a wonderful day and thank you so much for being part of this and sharing your stories and for all the work that you do. And we wish you all the best on continuing your journey.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Good to see you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Nice seeing you.
Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you very much and congratulations to all the awardees.
Thank you. You can turn off the recording.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.